Today's story begins in a small village in Afghanistan. People are heading out to go about their daily tasks when, suddenly, an airstrike hits the village, killing many innocent people. Shortly after, Russian army tanks arrive. The soldiers inside begin killing the villagers one by one. Some women, seeing their families destroyed, protest and try to stop the tanks. In response, the ruthless soldiers release poisonous gas. Some women die instantly, while others are forced to flee. When the soldiers realize no one is left, they come out and burn the houses. They also poison the water wells, leaving nothing safe to drink. Who could be this cruel? Not even they know the reason. They are simply following orders. During the investigation, the soldiers capture the village leader. They question him about his remaining comrades, who have been killing Russian soldiers every day. He responds that they are scattered all around. He says that no matter how hard they try, they will never conquer his country. Hearing this, the captain becomes enraged. He orders the tank pilot to crush the man under the vehicle. The pilot hesitates, unable to find the necessary courage. This angers the captain even more, and he humiliates the pilot in front of everyone. At that moment, the women who had fled return. Among them is the leader's wife, who begs for mercy or a quick death. Despite this, the pilot obeys the order. He drives the massive tank over the man while he is still alive, killing him brutally on the spot. After completing their mission, the soldiers move forward to meet their second team. They stay in radio contact to avoid confusion. However, at a crossroads, the person leading gives the wrong direction. He says left, but he actually means right. Due to this error, one tank becomes separated from the group. From a nearby hill, Moustafa notices the isolated tank. He is a Taliban leader with an army he built on his own. Seeing the opportunity, he decides to destroy the tank. Meanwhile, the villagers who had gone out to work return to a gruesome scene. Bodies are scattered everywhere. Some people were burned alive, while others were shot. The sight fills everyone with rage. Just then, Moustafa arrives with his men. He tells them he has spotted a tank separated from its unit and suggests they take revenge together. However, the villagers do not trust Moustafa. They say they want to speak with their leader first. At that moment, the leader's wife speaks with a trembling voice. She tells them he was crushed under a tank. The village then declares Taj, the leader's brother, as the new chief. Anyone witnessing such a brutal death is left shattered. Therefore, Tej immediately declares they will seek revenge. First, they decide to destroy the lost tank and its executioners. After that, they plan to drive them out of the country forever. Moustafa is already prepared for this moment, so he and his men begin following the tank's tire tracks. The tank finally stops in a scorching valley because the pilot does not know where to go. The captain has a map, but there is a problem. The portion of the map beyond the turn has been burned. As a result, they have no idea where they are. Meanwhile, Moustafa and his men begin attacking the tank from all sides. However, even together, they fail to cause serious damage. Their poor aim makes the tank almost impossible to stop. During the attack, Tej notices that his uncle has been wounded in the leg. He asks him to go back, but the man refuses, saying he is a Pashtun, and a Pashtun is never shot in the back. His bravery inspires everyone around them. They continue following the tracks on foot. Surviving in the high valleys of Afghanistan proves extremely difficult. Soon, everyone is exhausted. One of the men suffers terribly from thirst. They spot a nearby water source, and he drinks from it desperately. Moustafa runs from behind to stop him, but it is too late. The Russians have poisoned the water. An empty poison bottle lies nearby. The man dies in terrible pain, and no one can save him. From a distance, a Russian captain observes everything in secret. He immediately orders the cannon to be fired. Due to a technical failure, the shell gets stuck inside the tank. Everyone runs for fear that the shell might explode at any moment. After waiting a long time and seeing that nothing happens, the captain orders the soldier who fired the shell to go and retrieve it. The soldier is too scared to move. Finally, the pilot agrees to go with him. Inside the tank, the captain suspects sabotage. He believes Samad may have caused the malfunction on purpose because he is Afghan and loves his land. Samad is, in fact, Afghan and works with them as a translator. Together, they remove the unexploded shell. Beneath it, they have placed a grenade. As everyone gathers around, A man picks it up out of curiosity. Before anyone can stop him, the grenade explodes, killing him in a horrific way. Behind the tank, there are not only fighters, but also widows. Their husbands were martyred in this brutal war, and they too burn with a desire for revenge. As night falls, the group decides to stop and rest. During this time, Samad and the pilot talk at length. Samad tells him about Afghan culture, explaining that respect is the most important value of all. The pilot listens intently and respects his words. Later, a fight breaks out between two men in the group. The captain intervenes and brings the situation under control. When the pilot is asked to write the incident in his report, the captain stops him, not wanting to be disgraced when the report is reviewed. Enraged, the captain tears up the report. In the midst of this argument, they are suddenly attacked. They drive away immediately as fighting in total darkness is extremely difficult. After wandering aimlessly for a long time, they stop the tank in a remote location. They get out and place several grenades around the area, planning to kill anyone who tries to attack them. Suddenly, a radar signal shows movement nearby. The captain orders Samad to go out and check. No one trusts this decision, and the captain openly calls Samad a traitor, saying he will soon be punished for his actions. Moments later, Samad returns and explains it was only a herd of deer wandering nearby. There was no enemy presence. Despite this, the captain shoots the deer and kills them. When Moustafa and his men arrive the next morning, the group reaches a lake, and the captain orders Samad to measure its depth. As Samad walks away, the captain shoots him in the back. Samad dies on the spot. Enraged by this act, the pilot writes everything in his report. The captain deeply dislikes this, and another heated argument breaks out between them. They drive the tank into the lake and move forward, but after traveling some distance, the tank breaks down. The pilot explains that it needs liquid fuel, which they do not have, and the battery is dead. According to him, leaving the tank behind and continuing on foot is the only option. The captain believes the pilot is doing this deliberately as revenge for Samad's murder. They point their weapons at each other. In the end, the remaining soldiers follow the captain's orders. They tie the pilot to a rock with ropes and place a grenade under his head before abandoning him. The pilot remains helpless, tied in the heat, hungry and thirsty. Before leaving, the last soldier comes to say goodbye. He silently warns the pilot that he will be the next target and advises him to free himself, telling him to kill the captain and return in a few days to save his life. Without waiting for an answer, the soldier walks away. The captain throws away the pilot's report diary, wanting no one to discover the truth. Meanwhile, Tej's uncle is shown again. His wounds force him to stop moving forward, where he meets the women following the tank. He asks them how they plan to destroy a tank without weapons. The leader's wife shows grenades hidden in her hands. The uncle says their greatest weapon is their boiling blood and that such passion can destroy anyone. He warns the women to turn back, explaining that the Russians are extremely cruel and capable of anything. Even so, the women refuse to leave and continue forward. Later, wolves approach the tied pilot. In a panic, he lifts his head to escape, causing the grenade beneath him to slide. The grenade falls and explodes, killing several wolves, but he survives. If it had exploded closer to his head, his death would have been certain. At that moment, the women arrive and begin throwing stones at him. He begs them to stop, but they refuse to listen. Soon, Moustafa and his men arrive and tell the women to step back. After some hesitation, they free the pilot. They decide to spare his life because he seems useful and understands their language. At nightfall, Moustafa and his men take refuge in a cave. Moustafa gestures to the pilot and asks him to fix their rocket launcher, RPG. The pilot agrees and begins working on it. Everyone watches in amazement, as no one had repaired it before. Taj says the weapon will be extremely useful, and with it, they will finally be able to destroy the tank. The pilot agrees to help. Although he deeply hates the captain, the rules of war no longer mean anything to him. This is the moment he decides to take his revenge. Elsewhere, the tank stops because it has run out of fuel. Just then, a Russian helicopter flies overhead. The soldiers light a flare and call for help. When the helicopter lands, two soldiers run to board it, desperate to escape this living nightmare. The captain orders them to bring diesel and return immediately. The helicopter pilot asks if they have water, but they refuse to give him anything. The pilot then hands over the diesel tanks, and the tank resumes its journey. From a distance, Taj and the others watch everything. They are relieved the captain did not abandon the tank. If he had, revenge would have been impossible. The pilot then informs Moustafa's group that there is a dead end further ahead, a perfect place to trap the tank. Everyone begins moving quickly through a shortcut. They travel all night without stopping. The engine temperature rises dangerously, yet the captain refuses to stop. In the morning, they reach a pond to collect water and discover the helicopter with its entire crew dead. It is the same pond the soldiers had poisoned earlier. Seeing his own men dead breaks the captain's spirit. At that moment, Moustafa's fighters arrive. The captain tries to start the engine, but it doesn't respond. He activates the machine gun, but it has no ammunition. Instead, he fires cannon shells, but every shot falls in the wrong place as the attackers dodge them every time. Meanwhile, the pilot lifts the RPG and takes aim. The missile hits the top of the tank. A powerful explosion follows, but the people inside survive with only minor injuries. They feel a brief moment of relief. Shortly after, the tank begins to move again. At the same time, Moustafa's men notice the nearby helicopter and say they no longer need to pursue the tank, believing they have already achieved what they wanted. Suddenly, a powerful explosion shakes the area. Large rocks fall from above, crushing the tank and leaving it completely stuck. Even then, the captain refuses to come out. Instead, he hands 2 grenades to each of his remaining companions and orders them to take their own lives. He also pulls the pin on a grenade and sits down, but one of the soldiers quickly takes it from his hand and replaces the pin. Meanwhile, the pilot, standing outside, notices oil leaking from the tank. He throws a burning rag onto it, and the oil ignites immediately. Forced by the flames, the 3 soldiers exit the tank. As soon as they appear, the women and the others attack them. Shortly after, the captain and the 2 soldiers begin begging for their lives. In Afghan tradition, anyone who asks for protection is forgiven. Even the greatest enemy cannot be killed once protection is requested. Because of this, they are forced to let them go. The women are deeply unhappy, wanting revenge, but the 3 men are being released. At that moment, a Russian helicopter arrives. Everyone hides from view, but the pilot remains standing. He can no longer be part of this war. He joined the army to defend his own country, not to kill innocent people in another land. He grabs a rope lowered from the helicopter. Seeing this, Moustafa raises his gun to shoot him, but Taj stops him, reminding Moustafa that the pilot helped them. In the next scene, the 3 soldiers reach the same crossroads where a single wrong turned their mission into hell. Suddenly, the women appear again. The leader's wife steps forward. She cannot forgive her husband's killer and throws stones at the captain. He dies on the spot. Only then does her heart finally find peace. The other 2 soldiers manage to escape, and with this, the story comes to an end.